Hello everyone, my name is Tucker Spencer Wallace, and I'm a Mission Integration Engineer here at SpaceX. The Tranche 1 space vehicles launching today will serve a part of the Space Development Agency's Proliferated Warfighter Space Architecture, a new layered network of satellites in low Earth orbit. Both the range and vehicle are currently green, and we are on track for an on-time liftoff at 7:12 a.m. Pacific time. Weather continues to look good for today's launch out of California, with a 0% possibility of violation. If needed, a backup opportunity is available tomorrow, starting at 7:04 a.m. Pacific time. As a note, we will not be showing any Stage 2 or payload deployment views at the request of our customer. Falcon 9 recently completed its 500th mission overall in July and has already flown more than 100 missions this year. Moments before liftoff.
Stage 2 LOX load is complete.
And with that, the liquid oxygen for the second stage is now fully loaded, completing propellant load for the upper stage. You've probably noticed white clouds venting from the rocket at this point. That isn't smoke, it's actually condensation. And as the liquid oxygen warms slightly inside of those tanks, some of it boils off, which is then vented to manage
ground
pressure.
gas closeouts.
We just heard the call out that gas closeout has started, and that refers to venting and closing out gaseous systems, such as topping off tanks and sealing vents to maintain pressure. Standing by now for confirmation that Falcon 9 is in startup at the T-1 minute mark.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
As you just heard, the Falcon 9 is in startup, which means that at this point, the autonomous flight computers have taken over the launch countdown, and stages 1 and 2 are pressurizing for launch.
This is the mission director. Go for launch.
And there you just heard the mission director give the final go, so let's sit back and listen to the final countdown.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff of Falcon 9. Go SpaceX, go SDA.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds and counting, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Slick 4E at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. In case you're just joining us, this is the Space Development Agency's Tranche 1 mission, and we had an on-time liftoff today at 7:12 a.m.
Power and
Pacific time.
telemetry nominal.
Coming up next, the vehicle will be passing through Max Q, which is the point in the mission profile where the
Vehicle is supersonic.
experiences the greatest amount of aerodynamic pressure.
Max Q.
Falcon 9 has now passed through the period of Max Q, when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of aerodynamic stress. Coming up next, we'll have several events happening in quick succession, starting with MECO, followed by Stage SEP and SES-1. Main engine cutoff, or MECO, is where all 9 Merlin 1D engines will shut down to slow the vehicle down in preparation for stage separation, which is where the first stage separates from the second stage. Following this, the MVAC engine on the second stage will light, which is called out as SES-1, or second engine start 1. This engine burn, lasting several minutes, will propel the second stage and the payload to orbit. In addition to these major events, the fairing halves will separate about 30 seconds after SES-1. As a reminder, we will not have any Falcon 9 second stage or payload views at the request of our customer. We're about 10 seconds away from MECO now.
Main engine cutoff. Stage separation confirmed. MVAC startup.
And as you just heard and saw, that series of back-to-back callouts there, which again were MECO, stage separation, and SES-1. Coming up shortly, we should hear a callout for fairing separation, but as a reminder, we will not be showing it on screen. Both payload fairing halves supporting today's mission are also flight proven, with both halves flying for their third time.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And there you just heard that confirmation. We will be attempting to retrieve these fairing halves again today once they fall back to Earth with our recovery vessel, Go Beyond. We are currently at 3 minutes and 48 seconds into today's mission. Now the next major milestone, coming up in about 3 minutes from now, will be the entry burn of the Falcon 9 booster as it continues on its journey towards our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, stationed in the Pacific. To start the entry burn, we will relight 3 M1D engines, which is similar to pumping the brakes to slow down the vehicle as it passes back into the Earth's atmosphere. We need to slow down the vehicle to reduce re-entry forces, which then helps us to recover and reuse the first stage. Now let's talk a little bit about the payload, even though we can't show it to you today. As an integral part of the U.S. Space Force, the SDA is launching the Proliferated Warfighter Space Architecture into low Earth orbit to enhance warfighting responsiveness, resilience, and survivability. SDA is delivering next-generation capability to the Joint Warfighter in support of terrestrial missions through development, fielding, and operation of this network. SDA's mesh network of optically connected satellites is primarily focused on tactical data delivery to the warfighter at the edge, tracking and targeting advanced missile threats, and beyond line-of-sight targeting for time-sensitive or mobile targets. The Tranche 1 launch today is delivering into orbit 21 data transport satellites provided by York Space Systems for the data transport layer of the proliferated warfighter space architecture. These 21 satellites form the first of 10 satellite planes that make up the first tranche of warfighter capability in the SDA's proliferated warfare space architecture. Coming up in just a few seconds, we'll be working towards the entry burn. We are now 30 seconds away from the beginning of the entry burn. You should see the graphics light up as the engines do on the bottom of your screen. As I was mentioning earlier, each space vehicle on this launch is configured with 4 optical communication terminals for satellite-to-satellite and satellite-to-ground laser communications, and 2 mission data communication payloads for Link 16